Hi guys, welcome back. All right, this is going to be a bonus general message. I always start these ones out with something real that happened, usually some anecdote pertaining to my dog, and then we see if that sets a tone for the storytelling. So maybe this isn't a great thing, but my pup and I have this agreement that, like, at a certain time in the evening, no matter what else happens, that's his walkie time, and that's what must happen. And he's such a creature of habit, down to, I swear, he has an internal alarm clock. And so every evening at a very specific time, you could spot him following me around like 2 inches off of my heels and staring at me. And then if I even lean toward the door, or he races in the direction of the car and goes and stands by the passenger door because he knows he gets in the car with me and we drive to one of our favorite walking spots. And so it's just really funny and really cute to see that he knows it. And let me tell you, it keeps me on target too, because when you've got a little fuzzy alarm clock like that running you around, yes, we never miss, especially that evening walk that he loves more than all others. So it's, all I can say is maybe somebody is, they're being kept on task. Let's put it that way. So we have the Hierophant. Well, if the Hierophant is keeping us on task, it's the higher power. It's and I should backtrack on this and say it can be one's connection to one's higher self, or it can be the coercion, the dogma, this set of rules that makes somebody feel like if you don't do what we said, you could be ostracized from your group. If you don't behave the way we want you to, then there could be, repercussions in the form of like tisk tisk, you haven't followed the rules that we laid out for you. The Hierophant can be a very controlling and dogmatic card. It can represent authority, rules, not necessarily ones based on any kind of fairness, but it can also represent, at the best version of it, one's higher self. Now, this can also talk about marriage and institutions. So with this in mind, if someone's being kept on task, I mean, this could represent someone's in a, they're staying in a situation, even a relationship or a marriage, not out of the desire to do so, but out of a sense of duty. We have a Seven of Wands, which can be a card of struggles. This could represent that there's a lot of different voices overwhelming one's own personal autonomous decision making. So the single acoustic guitar here in the forefront might be clashing with all of these other guitars that we see in the background that are more rock guitars. They're making a lot more noise. They're like, a lot of people could be insisting you need to do this because we told you so, because that's the, like the group mentality that you're a part of. You have to do what we said because in our group, this is how you must behave. So, like, for example, a big group of like family members, community members that are like, it doesn't matter if you're not happy, you stay married. And that is a huge struggle for an individual human being to say, well, these are my choices. You don't dictate what I must do. But with a card of struggle like this, it's not easy for this character. Okay. We got the Two of Discs. So what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I belong? That's where our character's mind is at. Like, what do I do? There's a map back here even, and there's a road map. But it's like, if both of these locations that we have highlighted are their own like confined spaces. So am I going to be here or am I going to be here? There isn't a connecting road. If I choose to be here, then that's it. I'm going to park myself here. I'm committing myself to this life, this location, this group of people. Or if I go over here or remain here, then I cannot be with that. It's one or the other. There isn't balance here. The only thing that our character has to decide is which life are they going to choose to, hitch their wagon to. these are two different locations. These are there. This is like there's a great distance, both maybe emotionally and geographically between these two ideas. One could be much more heavily steeped in religious beliefs. We do have like a religious temple being shown in one image, whereas the other one's more like a larger city, a little bit more greenery around it. I'm going to say that someone, if they go against the group in order to either live where they want to live or be with whom they want to be with, they know it will come at a cost. They won't be able to still be a part of the group with all of the guitars. What I don't like about that card, by the way, is that there's just so much noise being produced by, like, all of those electric guitars are going to drown out the acoustic because they're amplified, they're plugged in, and they're in a chorus. So our person has a lot of noise around them, a lot of like peer pressure to do what the group says. And they know if they won't do what the group says, the group will not have them anymore. We've got a 7 of Cups. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Like that's, I'm not going to say it 7 times, but that's basically what's going on for our character, right? They're like laying out the possible scenarios. If I do this, then what happens? If I chose this route, then what would happen? How will this shake out? How will it impact all the different aspects of my life? And I would say that's more the message for me on this one is how will my actions impact my life? So this could be a character who's literally sitting down and maybe they're taking 2 sheets of paper. On one sheet of paper, they're saying, okay, if I remain right here where I am, how will that impact 7 areas of my life? My finances, my family, my comfort zone just within my immediate friend group, my geographical location where I live, maybe far-reaching implications for my future, my inheritance, my, whatever could be wrapped up in it. And they may write down, if I stay, this is the way it would impact my life. And of course, they would also have to be saying, those are the things that I might be able to preserve, but what things would I lose by staying? I would lose my personal autonomy to make choices for myself, perhaps. I would lose the opportunity to, be with a partner that I want to be with or whatever it is. And then meanwhile, they would have to take that other sheet of paper and write down 7 things about, and if I choose to go this different direction, then what? How will this choice impact all these aspects of my life? Now, here's the thing. You can write everything down. You can be as logical as you want about everything, but it's not just about how many things will be good versus bad and then weigh the pros and cons, because it's also everything has a different energetic level of attachment to it. Like maybe this character is going to say, and I'm going to suggest this because it's the biggest cup here. We have a ton of riches in this big central cup. Their primary thought could be, yikes, if I go against the group, how will that impact my finances negatively? If I stay within the groups, how will that impact my finances? Oh, I'll have loads and loads of riches. And because financial abundance is my greatest fear, more so than personal development, then I'm probably going to make a decision based off of what I fear losing the most, instead of what I prefer to gain. This person could be motivated by fear of loss. Or let me put it this way. They could be motivated at least by wealth, because that is the biggest cup that I see. Woman of Wands. The thing is, we do have a character who has an immense pull over this person, because a Queen of Wands is their ability to draw eyes to her. She has a particular power, and her power comes from, this is not someone who bows to anyone else. They make decisions purely off of what they want for themselves. They don't trouble themselves with whether or not other people are going to support them. There's an arrogance to a Queen of Wands that is, when she's in the upright, I would argue just the right kind of arrogance, right? It doesn't matter if you like me or not. It doesn't matter if you support me or not. There will be other people that will. There will be some people that don't like me. What you think of me is none of my business. It doesn't impact me. That's her attitude. That arrogance of, I'm going to do what I do, whether you like it or not, because I have to live according to my, personal choice in life. So she isn't bothered. Or I'll just say, because who isn't bothered when people don't like them? Everybody is to a certain extent, perhaps. But a Queen of Wands probably a lot less than maybe other queens might be. But there is a sense of independence where what they would fear more is losing their right to choose for themselves what is right for themselves. That's probably the more important thing. They will always be, I pick from me. Thank you very much. I would choose freedom over stability. I would choose expressing myself and risking being disliked rather than never expressing myself at all. That's the Queen of Wands attitude, to me anyway. And so here they are, whoever this lead character is, they are not her energy at all. They are someone who has perhaps been steeped in some kind of stressful, like very structured life. They've been made to feel that you do what we say or you don't do what we say, but then you can't be with us at all. They have a big choice to make and they're very stressed out about it because the person that they are drawn to, the very reason they're so drawn to her is her personal power. Because that is one of the things that stands out the most. It's what makes this character so sexy. It doesn't matter what anybody looks like. Sex appeal has nothing to do with looks, really, at all. It has to do with the energy, if we boil it down. I mean, sure, we can say people are aesthetically pleasing, but ultimately, what really makes somebody sexy, or at least is my interpretation, is the essence of them, how they carry themselves through this world. The element of like how they think, how they project themselves, what they really stand for. Those things are what makes somebody be like, wow. And she exudes that in a way. It's a confidence and a power. And that's probably why they're drawn to her, because that's a power that they perhaps haven't fully developed in themselves. Oh, they also say that she's their Two of Cups. Okay. There's an element where they feel like she was like a destined path for them to encounter, to like all roads have led to her anyway, with the whole nautilus shell and the energetic swirl of the universe. It's like this makes sense to them. Her energy, being with her, makes some inherent sense to them. It's so obvious that that's the person that they would feel this way about. So why, if that's the case, why is this character struggling? Two of Wands, because they have to be able to paint a vision of a future that would be so different than anything they've ever dealt with. You notice how their world has been shades of just gray and blah. And they have a chance to paint a completely different picture that they would be in charge of. I don't think this person has ever had freedom to really, truly exercise their own likes and dislikes. I think everything in their life has been governed by the whatever group they've been surrounded by. So if they are struggling with anything, it's the concept that, you mean I could create a life that is different than I have known? You mean somebody wouldn't be telling me how my life is going to go? I would have, if I leave that kind of confining group and I go toward this Queen of Wands, I would be able to make choices instead of be told what, I mean, maybe somebody like got this person their first job, said, this is who you're going to be. This is the career path you're going to take. This is what you're going to do. This is where you're going to live. Maybe they've had a lot of quote unquote help in their lives, but that help was simply like, look at what I've given you. That's why you'll accept this and you'll be grateful for it and you'll do what I say because I'm providing this to you. I feel like that was the trade-off. This person was perhaps given a path in life, a set of, maybe their life has technically been pretty easy. Maybe they've had things paid for a lot, things like that, but they've never actually been permitted to make their own choice about what they want. It would be like, okay, if somebody gives you a house, that's like a huge gift, right? But, and this may make me sound like a horrible person, but my first thought would be like, but that I can't just live in any old house. Like I would much rather have to buy my own place and pay my own way through life and have the freedom to choose what I want, because there's a lot of horrible houses out there. I don't want somebody giving me a house. That's a terrifying thought. Then you're stuck with this big, huge thing and you got to try to live in it. No, thank you. Like there's things that it may sound ungrateful because, wow, isn't that awesome? Somebody gave you a house, but you want to live in a house that somebody else said, and it's furnished for you, and this is where you're going to live, and no, you can't move. Like that, I couldn't do it. I feel like that's maybe the lifestyle that this person has had. They've had a lot of help, but that help came with so many coercions that they don't know how to paint their own vision of what they like. Or this is almost new territory for them to be able to think of having a life that would be filled with their own choices. Because there's, it can be perhaps scary to have to choose your own path and then fund your own life. If you've never done it before. And I feel like this character's never done it for those of us who've done it our whole lives and never had any help. We're like, wait, what? You mean other people get help? I don't know what that's like. I feel like with this Four of Swords, it's sideways. I think one of the things that this person is having to really work on healing is they have, in order to remain in the lifestyle that they've been living that was so coercive, they had to turn themselves into kind of unfeeling lumps. They maybe had to let a lot of things, just like, I don't listen to that. I don't let it get to me. I don't hear what somebody says because I just know that that's how they talk to me. That's how they treat me. But remember, I have to live according to their rules and laws. And so then I feel like they had a tyrant in their life, maybe somebody who even mistreated them quite a bit. And they just turned a deaf ear to all kinds of, if they ever broke away from what the tyrant wanted them to do or how they were supposed to live, they would get an earful and they would just kind of like tune out, just be like, yep, I just have to follow what the tyrant says. And then they'll stop, telling me that I've messed up or something. And I feel like they have to heal themselves from that, the way that they've blocked all their emotions. It's not like this character is really struggling to figure out, can they be with this person that I think that they really care about? I mean, they're Two of Cups. It's more like, look at how light and colorful her life is. They know if they enter into her world, their world will be full of color as well. Can they enter into her world? Are they ready to feel? Are they ready to open up and not be a statue anymore? Because I think that was their coping mechanism for the very unpleasant world that they were in. Now, I don't read for genders no matter what. But in particular, I don't know. I haven't even had anything that showed me who this character was. We've got an Ace of Wands. I almost feel like this character has not been able to express themselves as a divine masculine or a divine feminine because they were simply under somebody else's rule, if that makes sense. They haven't been able to establish their own identity. That's why I wanted to say that, because I was like, this is interesting that I don't get a big snapshot of this person, only what's going on with them, up here as they're thinking through things. Ace of Wands, I think that they are going to finally, at long last, they're going to let one thing be their guiding light, which is, what is it that I really want? What is it that I am passionate about? Not what's logical anymore, not what am I going to lose, not the pros and cons, sheets of paper that we talked about earlier, but rather, if I just look, what is the ultimate thing, the one thing that I really want? I think, a sense of personal freedom, because we have, under this eyeball, we have this piece of music. I think it's like this person wants to be able to sing their own sonata. They want to be able to passionately engage with something that's important to their heart. Ace of Wands is a personal choice of passion, and I think they are headed right into the arms of their Queen of Wands. Good for them. Good for them. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Everybody, lots and lots of love. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.